Fantastic. Thanks, Howie. Great to have you back and looking forward to this game. And Heath Shaw, well, his first game back, and I reckon James McDonald just reminding him there of the fact that he missed the last 4 games plus finals of last year because of a well-publicised incident, and he's back in the Collingwood side after a late pre-season injury. Umpire McLaren with the football. Collingwood versus Melbourne at the MCG, and just moments away. And there's Paul Johnston and Josh Fraser, who will be required to do most of the ruck work today for the Magpies. Lee Brown perhaps to provide some support, but Josh Fraser with the responsibility. We're underway. MCG Saturday afternoon football. Fraser does his own roving, wobbles it towards Maxwell. Good fist away from the Melbourne defence. McDonald was held momentarily by Pendlebury. Somehow Pendlebury found the footy. Cloak, Lockyer, Didac, loops it back. Clark, good pressure early from Melbourne. Cloak, cleverly around Davey. Kicks it high towards half forward. Maxwell's got to beat a couple, and he's outgunned by Morton, who was marked 40 metres from his own defensive goal. Wonderful year last year, Cale Morton, his first for the D's. Kicks it wide, and good mark. Strong mark taken by McLean in front of Cloak. Around him easily. The kick towards half forward is a beauty. And the mark's taken by Miller. His opponent at the moment is Nathan Brown. So Brad Miller, one of his best years for Melbourne last year. Kicks to the top of the goal square. Little nudge out from Cox, but he's been paid the mark, and he relieves the pressure as Fraser takes the mark at half-back.
Good mark by Cox, wasn't it? Gives to Swan now to Fraser. Anthony Martin right with him, is lined up at full back, although named at full forward, and covered Anthony all the way to the wing.
Showed really good pace then, didn't he? That was, as we look back at that mark, but Martin was really good pace on Anthony then. I thought he had him covered.
So Fraser beating Johnson, who fell over. Swan gets it again. This time reciprocates back to Fraser. Now Davis held that kick up beautifully. So clever with hands and feet. Lockyer gives it back to him. Now Anthony, and the ball sat nicely. Places it for Cloak, but just got too much on the kick. And it's comfortably taken by Warnock for the Demons, who offloads quickly to Bruce. Good target. Pendlebury with him, but Bruce good enough. Had good posse. Helps it to Davey. Now Maloney and Frawley. Melbourne just fiddling a bit here. McDonald back to Frawley. And now he goes straight ahead. Pennant's got it, this time out in front of Cox, and goes for Miller. And Miller, who started the season promisingly last week, is well within range. The man on the mark just over 30 out, so it's a scoring chance to the Demons, who are quite competitive here in the early moments.
It was a good kick too, that just waited out in front of him. We all know that that's the best way to kick to a leading forward, to make his own pace to. This is what Miller's problem's been. He's got to become a goal kick if he's going to play in the forward line and lead up. He's got to be a really good kick for goal.
Had probably his best season last year. He fades it right, so it's a miss.
Well, I want to keep saying this. Why blokes kick for goal slowly has got me beat when they don't do it under normal circumstances.
Strong effort that on the wing by Jared Rivers. Held his ground. The free kick off to Bruce. Off to Davey. And Davey chips it short. McLean low down. Couldn't take the mark. Swooped on by Didac. Got support outside if he can get it wide. He can now. Mark taken out there by Swan. He chips into the pocket. Cloak dropping back as marked. Clever play. He dropped back on Warnock. And you mentioned the miss from Miller at one end. Malcolm could result in an opportunity here for the Magpies. In fact, does result in an opportunity if Travis Cloak can convert. 2 behinds last week from Brad Miller. Last year, very accurate. 26 goals, 9 he kicked. But not so far today. So here he is, Travis Cloak.
Yeah, but he also wants to give it off too often, doesn't he? Rather than take the shot himself.
From just 20 metres. Oh, gee. That's even worse, that miss. Didn't kick through it. Dragged it across the goal face. And Melbourne bring it in from the back pocket.
I haven't worked it out yet, Michael. I know it's his player faults here. Why players, have a look at this, is the way they normally kick at training. Flat out, kick it, lovely kick. Put them in front of goals and they go half pace. I don't get it.
There's some front-on contact. The free kick paid to Bate, and the umpire saying that advantage should not be applied. Bate to Green. So misses at either end of the ground. Green puts it right into the heart of the corridor, and Bartram had calls wide, goes directly. O'Brien there with a decisive spoil. Didac leads McLean to it and has a little bit of time. Now Pendlebury, and this is Collingwood's midfield machine really. Didac, Pendlebury, Swan for the third or fourth time, and now Lockyer. Very even team, Collingwood, towards Anthony, but Martin now points him. Interesting matchup there. Two players looking to consolidate their careers, and Martin has had a couple of victories so far. Aaron Davey, very different role now, working up to the half-back line and even beyond. Jared Rivers, after a couple of lost seasons, gives to Jones, and the Demons playing with some authority. Bate, stabbing ball, and Miller can line them up again, and surely he'll kick it this time from about the same range.
Well, Nathan Brown was standing 6 or 7 metres off Brad Miller as Melbourne brought that ball forward, Malcolm. Got to be tighter than that.
Well, you got to guess. That's what some players do. Just Warnock and Martin have taken 2 good marks at the back and repelled him, given Demons chance. As Tim said, I mean, 2 youngsters, maybe, Tim, 2 key defenders.
So a chance now for Melbourne. Miller. And he's done it. So the Demons have the first goal and lead by 7 points.
Well, I've been a bit of a fan of this lad over a number of years, and they played him in a lot of spots, but as a lead-up forward has certainly been his best forms there. Not always used, but as Melbourne become a better team and better use of the footy, you'd think a guy like Miller, who can run hard and lead up, may become more important in this Demons outfit.
Three marks, 3 kicks for Brad Miller, and his first goal of the season. 1 goal, 1 already. Nick Malthouse. Certainly Melbourne moving the ball very impressively in the early stages of this game. Fraser beaten by Johnson this time. Coming in hard. Sylvia will cop one high against Lee Brown, imposing himself on the game. So Colin Sylvia off to Bruce. Drives it wide. Rivers almost. His opponent beams. Oh, gee, Clark almost pushed him in the back. No free kick. They fight for it, and free kick to Collingwood.
You know what, Michael? This is why are players doing this? And he didn't need to go to ground there, Rivers. If we look at that earlier free kick, he's an experienced player, Rivers. Why wouldn't he just keep and body over the ball and protect it? I actually agree with that. That's of holding the ball because you had a chance to keep your feet.
Okay, so Clark at half-back for the Magpies. Fraser the target on the wing. He's got to go here. Well done over the top from Martin, who's done some impressive things in the early stages. And we've got a boundary throw-in on the wing with the D's leading by 7 points.
Just 3 tackles laid in the match so far. 2 by the Magpies, 1 by the Demons. Melbourne have had the ball a lot more of the time. Collingwood not imposing a lot of pressure when Melbourne have it. O'Brien delivers nicely, and Collingwood can build here. O'Brien has to go back and win it back a second time, and has pulled off the kick. Morton stripped of it, and Collingwood are a bit of a chance now. Didac receiving from Beams, swinging it deep, and it's a push in the back. Hands in the back by Medhurst, and the free kick will go to Frawley in the last line for the Demons. He's had it 3 times already, and he's been direct each time, and he delivers to Sylvia.
Kick towards the wing. Now marks taken by Jetta. Kicks towards half-forward. Miller again, the lead-up target, and he's got it for his 4th mark. Mobility a problem here for Collingwood. He kicks inside, attacking 50. Maxwell's got his name written all over it, and he marks strongly. Fraser, he's got plenty of time. He needed it. And he finds O'Brien getting amongst it early. Shane O'Brien. Good kick. Oh, gee, Brown didn't read that at all well. He had plenty of time to get into position. Couldn't. Now Bruce. He chips it, and it's okay. The captain marks McDonald on centre wing, off to Jones. Kicks it inside again to attacking 50, and a comfortable mark taken by an unmanned Brad Green. So an opportunity from directly in front, 40 metres from goal, to give Melbourne a nice early break.
Just can't get their hands on the footy at the moment, Collingwood, consistently enough, and some of the Melbourne kicking's actually been good. I'm not sure that was actually for Green, but as it turned out, he had a lot of space around him.
So Brad Green, directly in front, kicked a couple last week. Normally a beautiful kick of the football, and that is no exception. Melbourne have the first two. So the best possible start, Malcolm, for the D's.
Bit similar last week, the Pies, Michael. Bit slow to start with. We saw that Mick Malthouse comment. Were they ready to go?
Did they come to play?
Did they come to play? Yeah. I think they've come to play. I think Melbourne have just got their hands on the footy and used it. That's the impressive part.
Melbourne's kicking efficiency, 89%. Incredible.
89% efficiency in kicking.
Yep.
I actually watched the game and could see that was pretty good.
Here's Lee Brown in about his second act of play with his new club. Gee, it was a pretty lukewarm effort. I hope he's come to play. Melbourne have the first two. Lead Collingwood by 13 points. Early days. There'll be another bounce here. Umpire Heath Ryan not satisfied with his first effort, so he'll throw it up now and get it nice and vertical. Nathan Jones.
Free kick.
Taken high, and it's his ball.
Umpire Ryan was unsighted there. The free kick was paid by umpire Donlan, who was sitting inside the Collingwood attacking 50.
Beautiful delivery from Jones to Green a moment ago for that goal. Now McDonald and Bruce, and Melbourne are in control here. Poor kick though by experienced player, last year's best and fairest winner. Bruce goes back to try and retrieve the situation, but knocked it straight to Lee Brown. That's better. To Davis, and Collingwood advance. Anthony, though, just not holding it on his chest. Gets it back from Lockyer and has a real chance. He's a dead eye on the run, though. Perhaps not quite as sound as from the set shot. He misses. It's Melbourne by 2 straight kicks.
Really is a game of mistakes now, isn't it? The drop chest mark, and really gave them a chance. But just as we watch this kick in now, that rebounce, advocated that for 20 years, Tim, rebouncing from a bad bounce in the centre. No one cares about it anymore. It's the right thing to do.
Warnock, oh gee, got himself in some real trouble here. Bartram back to Warnock, and Morton now relieves the pressure. Rivers in good position. Davis did well to spoil the taller opponent. Now at ground level, and a free kick, I think, to Fraser. Advantage as Cox emerges. Oh gee, I'm not quite sure whether it was advantage. Tuvey feeds it back to O'Brien. Davis, clever. Can he find a target? Yes, he can. And Beams. Dane Beams, his first game of AFL football. Johnson,
kick.
Beautiful kick it was to Anthony. And Ben Johnson, if they can get Ben Johnson playing at his best, he'll be like a new recruit, because wasn't a part of the team at the end of last year. And beautiful skills there as he found Anthony on the lead. Well, one thing we can say about Jack Anthony, he kicks the ball very straight, Malcolm.
Does.
From directly in front, 40 metres from goal. Kicks a goal for the Magpies, their first of the afternoon.
Oh, yeah, and just a nice little comeback there from Collingwood. A third goal to Melbourne wouldn't have been appreciated, but this is really good play. And the best part about this is Johnson goes on with it quickly. Anthony made the move, and I just think the effort of going and knowing your teammates, they could rehearse and practice that many times. Actually doing it out in a game is difficult, but that was great.
Good contest so far, Martin and Anthony. Martin the early victories, but Anthony hits back with a goal. Melbourne by 1 goal. Middle of the first quarter. Collingwood perhaps settling into some rhythm now. McLean, Davey swept off it. O'Brien, Clark Good smother, though, from Sylvia. Clark gets it back and releases Lockyer from within range, and the Magpies have their second.
Well, quick as a wink. And that's the 3-goal theory, Tim. They've got 2 of them. They weren't that far behind, really.
Oh, in theory, they were in front.
Right. Exactly. Oh, just at the centre bounce then, Swan was loose and McDonald were loose. So both coaches were actually playing one loose at a time then.
Tarkin Lockyer, the goal. Here's how it happened. Straight from the bounce. Bit more pressure from the Magpies.
Great recovery and backup work here from Marty Clark. Had the initial kick smothered, but just kept his awareness and was able to get onto it. As Melbourne go forward to McLean, O'Brien and Miller. Miller does well to keep his feet. Now the loose player is Bate. 45 from goal. Squares it superbly and finds Paul Johnson, who marks 40 from goal directly in front. And an opportunity for the quick reply for Melbourne. Good play here, keeping your feet. You've talked about that already, Malcolm, and Brad Miller did exactly that.
Yep, and good spot up there, isn't he? Not hard to miss him. He's a big fella. Not a bad kick either.
Paul Johnson kicked a goal last week against North from just inside 50. Gee, didn't bother about getting close, and he has rifled it through. Melbourne by 6.
Well, I just say, it's just entertaining, isn't it? You know why? Because there's goal scored and the skills generally have been pretty good. Beautiful day now in sunshine. Miller, as you suggested, did really well. And then Bate found the big fella. Good skills all round.
And one of those big, long leverage left foot kicks. As Chris O said, he kicked it from well back from the mark. Paul Johnson with a 50-metre straight kick puts Melbourne in front.
Early change. Prestigiacomo now and Brad Miller at centre half back for Collingwood.
Demons by a goal. Spencer and Lee Brown squaring off. Spencer with the height advantage there, if not the experience. And the Demons win the footy away, although the hand pass from Bennell to Jetta was a little misdirected. They get it to Green in the end. Bad bounce. Favours Cox. Ben Johnson. Oh, and there's a Demon hurt, and it's Miller. Picking himself up slowly. Looks dazed. Johnson, Pendlebury, back to Johnston. Still on the non-preferred. Kick hangs. Beams bravely. Stood his ground. And Collingwood prevail, and it's Beams. Lovely probing ball with the left boot, but Warnock led Cloak to it. Warnock did the job on Cloak in the Queen's birthday game last year. Held him goalless. Demons under the pump here. Maloney giving it up in haste, and Lockyer can kick his second. And the Magpie fans celebrate.
Well, Miller's in a bit of trouble. I actually looked back and he was staggering. As Collingwood kicked that goal, he came off the ground. I think he's clashed with his own teammate, and obviously Collingwood have picked up that extra goal, and Lockyer a nice little start with a couple.
Few concerns for the Demons down on the boundary line. Brad Miller can nasty knock with his own teammate there, Ricky Pettard. Got Pettard's hip bone right into the side of his head. Miller was very, very shaky. Got back up, fell down on the ground again and helped off the ground. So concerns there for Brad Miller.
Yeah, it's been one of their best, Howie. Thanks for that. Melbourne have possession, but forced back. Cheney kicks it wide. Chance here for Spencer. Oh, he's got a bit of time, the big boy. Oh, he ran a long way. Handball inside to Bate. Well done, Clark, although Bate did superbly. Got it back to Spencer, who kept going. Well played, big man. Off to Bate again. Hard up against the line. Brings it back to a central location. Coming through Davis. Did very well. Committed his body behind the ball. Off to Clark. Now Shannon Cox for Collingwood at half back. The run provided by Marty Clark. Where will he go? Pendlebury's been pretty quiet. Oh, kept his hands free, was brilliantly tackled. Now a turnover. Maloney off to Sylvia from 60. Drives it deep. Hasn't got the bounce. Pettard, no, can't do anything with it. Prestigiacomo can. Hacks it to the line. What's the umpire going to do here? Is that deliberate? Yes, he's paid it. Collingwood fans don't like it. Free kick to Melbourne at right half forward, and it'll be taken by Paul Johnson.
Free kick 7-2 Melbourne's way, dare I say. Johnson out on the half forward flank.
You could almost kick that, Tim, after what we saw a moment earlier.
He looked as though he had a bit more in the tank, didn't he? He gives to Bruce, Davey, and good delivery to the young Morton, who looked so impressive last year. Here's the Brad Miller incident again, or the aftermath. He's like a boxer who has copped a heavy one. But hopefully he'll be okay to come back shortly. So Cale Morton, equal sixth in the best and fairest in his maiden season last year. From outside 50, kicking skills are good. That is a lovely kick. The Demons have their fourth and they lead again.
Had a bit of a quiet week last week, young Cale Morton, but started off a lot better, and that's a lovely kick. I mean, we know his skills are good. He's going to be a rangy type, isn't he? You just wonder whether he'll be a midfielder or perhaps a key forward, maybe even a key defender in time, but he's got a fairly big tank. But the impressive thing is his kicking, and that it was a good 50-metre kick.
Brad Miller looks okay on the boundary line, guys. He had a bit of a chat with the doctor. The doctor was almost doing a few cognitive tests in front of his face just with his fingers. He was laughing and joking. He's ready to come back on shortly.
Good on you, Howie. Thanks for that. Well, they need him because he's been the catalyst in the early stages. Brad Miller. Davey knocked it clear. Disputed football. Bruce got it to Johnson, was going nowhere. Spills to Beams, and he was pushed in the back, so he'll get the free kick. Gee, he's only been involved in a couple of passages, Dane Beams, but he looks as though he belongs. Got plenty of poise, composure, and for the first time this afternoon we see Heath Shaw, who marks it centre wing off to O'Brien. Crowded forward 50, decides to just kick to the top of the goal square. Melbourne in good position here with Martin, and he marks very well, read it well. Bruce, that's what's ahead of him in the right back pocket. Beautiful day in Melbourne. Ground in superb condition. Off to Davey, who finds himself in space. Kicks to centre half back Maloney. Chips. Sylvia. Cox just standing off Sylvia there, and he's got it just forward of the wing. Off to Bate. They're looking impressive here, Melbourne. Kick from Bate. Green in a good spot, and he marks in the pocket ahead of Nathan Brown.
Generally, the skills have been great. This is a pretty good game so far, eh? Melbourne Saturday afternoon, boys.
Melbourne are moving the ball extremely well.
No zoning.
No. It's a game of footy. Remember those, Chris?
Melbourne and Collingwood.
Yeah.
Like the good old days.
So Brad Green, 40 metres from goal, angle acute. Kicks it beautifully, and Melbourne lead by a couple of goals. Well, we saw them match it with North Melbourne last week, last year's Wooden Spooners, and they're doing more than matching it with Collingwood this afternoon. I know Collingwood started poorly last week, but probably more reason why they should have started a little better today, Malcolm.
Absolutely. And the other thing with it too, there's senior players. Miller we've talked about, Green we've talked about, McDonald's been okay, and also Cameron Bruce has been good. So all these senior players are standing up at the moment.
Travis Cloak has just come back on the ground. Have a look at the wheels on those, Blighty. He normally uses those in the warm-up, but he took them off, came on the bench. The black boots were taken off for some reason, and those ones came on, Blighty. Just a magnificent piece of footwear.
They're like your thongs, same colour, Howie.
Collingwood 2 goals down. Didak, though, gives them first use, and Swan has it. He has a man loose in the corridor. It was Lee Brown. He didn't spot him quickly enough. He sits it up now, and Cloak will have a couple against him, and he's comprehensively beaten. Rivers, benched a little while ago, back into the fray. Davey.
I love the way they're playing on, Tim. Melbourne, they've been good. They've been at the real urgency in their game.
Skipper McDonald to Bruce. Ever cool and unflustered. stylish. Maloney, good to see him back. Hopefully playing a full season of footy. Here goes Davey. He's everywhere at the moment, relishing the chance to run the length and breadth of the park. And that is a fine mark. And it's Colin Sylvia. Another one hit by friendly fire by the look of it in bait, but he'll be okay. Sylvia, meanwhile, will line them up.
Gee, Aaron Davey makes a difference in the midfield and getting back into defence with the way he uses the ball.
Look, the whole Melbourne team has been good so far. The only thing that just interests me is that they haven't played this way for a long time. How do you sustain that? You know, how do you get that real hard football stuff into you unless you've been doing it over a period of time?
Getting close to quarter time, and this for a 3-goal lead. Sylvia, stuttering approach, and the kick reflected it. He got his run up wrong there, I fancy. Bad miss. Good aerialist, Sylvia.
So Davis at fullback for the Magpies. Second ball on the ground, so slight delay. 13 points in favour of Melbourne. Most impressive opening. Davis sets it up, and the mark's taken by Johnson. Been good in this opening quarter, Ben Johnson. Off to Pendlebury. Been relatively quiet. Kicks along the boundary line. At the back. Oh, a chance. That's a great mark by Cloak. Which way will it go? It'll go his way. Back to Ben Johnson. Lockyer, 60 from goal. Thought about going. In fact, has been called to play on. Tarkin Lockyer has kicked a couple of goals for Collingwood. Back to Ben Johnson. Oh, gee, it was a low worm burner. Well done, Maloney. Bruce. And here they come on the counter-attack. Burnell. Oh, gee, ran a long way. Sold himself into trouble. Now Bate. Chips it. Mark taken by Sylvia. So Melbourne certainly finding a way forward at the moment. He's got it between wing and half forward and chips to Miller. Too far out to score. Just over a minute and a half left in the quarter. Gee, it wouldn't be a valuable one if Melbourne can sneak another one here. Kicks it 30 metres from Melbourne's goal. Big pack at the full. Davis. Sloppy handball, but Cox is able to retrieve it. Back to Davis. And a dangerous kick. Beams needs to keep his feet, and he does. And did well enough over the boundary line. They'll be happy with that result. Boundary throw in at half forward for Melbourne.
Yeah, Collingwood have pushed a few extra blokes back. That's the first time Melbourne can't really flow through their forward line. We've got 3 or 4 extras. Very hard for the Demons to score from here.
Clear into Fraser, and Collingwood with the numbers, although Davis accidentally nudges it over with the boot. So just over a minute left. It's in Melbourne's attacking half at the 50. Mick Molehouse with some worries, and if Melbourne could conjure a goal here late in the term, Collingwood have really got something to think about. Bate couldn't quite extract it. And what's going to happen? Jones has a go. It'll be a ball up.
Almost like the first bit of multiple ball ups we've had, because it's been so free-flowing and open. Lovely game of football to watch. A lot of Collingwood players now around that footy as well, so very congested.
Fraser another win on Spencer, but Spencer finishes up with the footy. Just couldn't move it on. Oh. Now the Demons do. Morton extracting it somehow. Creates a one-on-one, but Maxwell's got the box seat on Sylvia. Just lost it for a moment. Gives Sylvia a breath of a chance. Another throw in. Still time for the Demons. Unlikely that Collingwood will score before the change. Melbourne could. Important throw in. Sylvia over it. Miller's back and he's there, but Collingwood closing Melbourne down here. They haven't really tried to do this up until now. It's been free flowing. Umpire McLaren to set them in motion again.
Chance for Harry O'Brien. Off to Cox. And he delivers low. Mark taken by Anthony. Off to Pendlebury. 17 seconds left. What can they muster here? Off to Tooby. Thought about giving it to Beams. Decides instead to have a bounce. Can he find a target? Towards half forward. Over the head of Brown, who's now up forward. Frawley. Medhurst. Good tackle. Did he hold him too long? And a free kick will come to Melbourne. As we get the quarter time siren. Great start by the D's. They lead 5-2-32. Collingwood 3-1-19.
2 goals each to Green of Melbourne and Lockyer of Collingwood, and well, a little bit of Argy-bargy at the end of the quarter. Just keep an eye on that. Paul Medhurst and Travis Cloke in there for the Magpies. What have you made of it, Malcolm?
Oh, entertaining game, Tim. Oh, that's pretty interesting, that, isn't it? That Travis Cloke wants to be the stopper of all that. Medhurst. But look, Demons were good. I think there's still plenty left in the Magpies. Fascinating game.
Melbourne in front, but they need to take it a quarter at a time. Here on 10, we're taking it 1 week at a time on Monday nights.
He's not.
Donlan to start it. Johnson rucking for the Demons. Fraser of Collingwood. Sylvia had a chance there. Jones helps him out now. Did it well. Morton and Cheney, who made an impressive debut last week. That's not a good kick. That's a very poor placement. Releasing Didak for the Magpies. This could hurt Melbourne. Fortunately for them, Didak on his non-preferred side puts it over the line.
Interesting call you said about Cheney then. That's the one when you get that sort of space, nothing on, just spin back the other way, and that'll come with experience. I thought he showed that a few times last week, but not then.
Johnson spills to Swan. One step from 45 metres, kicks a wonderful goal. Gee, too easy. And Dean Bailey won't be happy about that after a stoppage to have a loose player just out the back there, Malcolm. Unattended.
Well, it's funny, Tim and I were talking on the ground, you know, where do you think the kick carts and come from, or kickstart from coming from Collingwood? And I think Swan's probably their best player over 4 quarters over a season, and that's a perfect example of why. He can do special things. This is clever. See where he gets to? He actually stopped. I thought he kept on running then, but he actually read the game and stopped, which is unusual. But the finish was good. The finish was great.
That might be recalled. No, the second ruckman, Fraser, initially disadvantaged, was able to get there and make it a contest. Johnson of Melbourne to Warnock, and now Jones is away, and he likes this situation, and he kicks well. Sylvia's got it, but it's a challenging position out near the boundary. Man on the market about 48 or 9.
I reckon I've seen
Pettit, in fact.
I've seen him kick. He's not a bad kick, this lad. He likes a goal, and he wears number 15, so that's got to be a good thing.
Straight approach.
Do it.
It's a pretty good kick. It hasn't quite got the carry. Now, Magpies have to be careful here. Miller keeps it up there for Melbourne, and they'll have a crack at it from the throw-in.
Interesting move that the Magpies have made. Captain Nick Maxwell now on Brad Miller. Third opponent so far in the match. Fraser in front. Oh, gee, dangerously takes it out, but got the handball away to Swan. Off to Ben Johnson, who probably Collingwood's best in that opening term. Lockyer shares it with Davis. Now Medhurst against the taller Frawley. And the kick always had too much on it. And Medhurst to come off to be replaced by O'Brien.
I think this is the youngest back line I've ever seen in the league. Melbourne have got at the moment. I won't name them all, but the 6 of them, the average age must be only 19 or 20. It's so young.
Johnson does very well. Bruce, oh, gee, gives it straight up. Swan again involved, Malcolm. High towards half forward. Cloak in front. Fist from the back by the Melbourne defence. Frawley runs onto the loose footy. Well played. Looping handball to Jones. Run provided by McLean. He kicks towards half forward. Miller and Maxwell. This will be interesting. Well done by Cox. Left his man to apply the tackle. What's the umpire going to do?
Great footy. That's what it was.
Bounce it.
Michael, great.
It was. Just inside attacking 50 for the D's.
Fraser has to get rid of it now, having taken it out of the air, but he does to Lockyer. Leon Davis. Neat delivery to Anthony, who's come up way beyond the wing. Been pretty well held by Martin so far. Back to Davis goes Anthony. Didak. Composed player. A lot of natural ability, and so has this man. Davis again pushes Collingwood forward, and Cloak in front of Warnock takes the mark. Collingwood fans hoping for more than that, imagining that maybe there was a 50 in it. It's Heath Shaw offering a lead. Now Cloak from 85, 90 metres from goal. Sits it. Pendlebury flew for Collingwood. Demons had the crummers. Tim Morton looks a good young player. Cheney now. Safer option that time. And Bruce strolling across half-back for the Demons, waiting for the right one. And Sylvia is that. Morton, who kept coming out of defence. It's a good set up by the Demons. Now Miller can see nothing in front of him. He's just going to let it hang for a moment and wait for Morton. His third involvement in this play. If they kick a goal, and they should through Petard, Kyle Morton will have started it. He'll have been the link man. The link man a second time. And from one end of the ground to the other will have been the architect.
9th mark inside 50, and that is a telling stat to Collingwood's too. The likely type.
So Ricky Petard couldn't nail it from a long way. From point blank range he does, and the Demons lead by 13 points.
How good was Morton? Couldn't have said it better, Tim. 3 magnificent pieces of play from back to forward, and that takes a lot of guts to run that hard, but as a teenager it takes a lot more. And fantastic mark in the end by Petard. It's interesting they can move into the goal square now too, which just gives them that other little option.
Well, here it is again. Wonderful mark. Petard, he up high over Cox. And interesting to note that Melbourne's 6 goals, Malcolm, have all come from marks.
Fantastic, isn't it?
So back in the centre. Well done, Fraser. He's played well, Josh Fraser. Off to O'Brien. Oh, she's just slipped down in the tackle. Drew a high free kick, played on. And now they've cocked it up. McLean held too long. So a bad mistake, a bad turnover there for the Magpies. All their players are running forward after O'Brien was awarded the free kick, and they've had to retreat as Davey. Out wide to Johnson. Beautiful kick to Miller. And Brad Miller has taken mark number 7. Early stages of the second quarter. His mobility causing the Magpie defence a problem. Kicks to the top of the goal square. Big leap, Sylvia. Couldn't take it. Shaw clever. Off to Beams. Now Davis. Plenty of time. Couple of bounces. Not too much to go to. So he chips to half-back. Tuvey. Fraser. Now Beams is on, but Fraser, oh gee, what will he do here? He was able to get the handball to Beams, who threads it back. Cloak. Shaw. So not making much headway at the moment, Collingwood. Back to Cloak. Davis. In the meantime, Melbourne have been able to get numbers back. And he chips it short. The mark's taken by Pendlebury, just forward of the wing.
And the Magpies advancing very slowly now. Pendlebury picks out Tuvey. Still too far out. And just not smothered on the kick, but intercepted. And the kick wasn't well placed. Didn't have an attacking trajectory. And there'll be a ball up. So Melbourne by 13 points. And the Magpies have really been playing catch-up since the game started. Fraser taken out of the air, was able to dispose legitimately. Rivers to Frawley. Morton again. Maloney. Back to Morton. He has real presence and composure. Now Bennell, and the Demons advance. Been quiet so far the second game, and Jones has 2 targets. Well, they make a bit of a mess of it. Jetta fumbles it. Miller doesn't. Snaps, and it's not quite a mark. And Collingwood have the numbers. Pettit again was the target. Swan comes away with the footy, delivers to Lockyer, and Collingwood can rebound dangerously.
Mark taken by Fraser on centre wing. Coming in for disposal number 11, Josh Fraser. Called to play on kick wasn't 15. Pendlebury very composed. Off to Lockyer. Good run provided by Swan from 60. Kicks it high. Cloak in a good spot though. Anthony in from the side. Has marked 15 from goal. So Jack Anthony and Swan has certainly been busy in the early stages of this second quarter for Collingwood. The chance here for Anthony to kick goal number 2. He'll kick from 20 metres, angle 45 degrees. And he pops it through, so Collingwood draw to within 7 points. We talked about Dane Swan, Malcolm, but he's certainly been the one at the moment that's keeping them in the game.
Well, he is. He actually got the kick from full back, if you remember, and he eventually got another kick at half forward. Didn't quite hit the ball right. I thought that Anthony, it's amazing how many times the good forwards actually read it quicker off the boot. It slid off the side of the boot a bit from Swan, and Anthony, as we know, good finisher. Important goal.
Collingwood with just 3 goal kickers, 2 each to Anthony and Lockyer. Swan has kicked the other, and he really has been the main man for the Magpies. Stop him, and the Demons give themselves a real chance at this. Fraser and Spencer, Swan again in the midst of it, and Fraser eventually swings it forward. Frawley controlling it, but Lockyer getting his body over it. And Collingwood are dangerous now. Brown forward. That's Nathan Brown for the Magpies, laying a tackle when his opponent didn't have it. And it's Cheney's free kick. Free kick standing at 10-5 Melbourne's way. Collingwood fans will be taking an interest in those numbers. Morton going for some territory here, and maybe going for a bounce, and he got an absolute ripper. And Sylvia to Spencer to Maloney is good for the Demons. The 50's open, petted one-on-one, brought it down, tries to collect. Maxwell, though, was able to curb him. Cox, Clark, good pressure, Davey. Fumble by Ben Johnson, and a push in the back, and it's a free kick to Bate within range. Bad errors by the Collingwood defence.
Well, they lost out on the wing. There were 2 of them, and they looked at each other and both missed it, and it allowed Melbourne to come in.
You know, a rule that if you're under pressure, kick it long, hard and high. And always say high. Why? Because it gives everyone a chance to get there. Try and make it a 50-50. Don't kick it low.
So Matthew Bate in his 50th game. Good-looking kick, and it's a beauty. And the Demons again lead by 13.
Well, nearly half the quarter's gone, and it's the margin to quarter time. It's just been this wonderful game of football, up and down. Skills have been pretty good. Pressure's been okay, but the forward line's been functioning beautifully. It's been nice and open. Hasn't been a lot of flooding except late at the end of the first quarter. And now the ball movement. If you get your skills right, it's certainly a shot at goal.
Now, let's have a look at that incident on the wing. This was the pressure applied by Didak, and that's the high kick you talk about.
Make it high so everyone can get there. Don't kick it low.
And Sylvia made the contest. He was outnumbered.
And you bring the funny-shaped footy into play.
All sorts of things happen.
Spencer.
Issues high.
Lockyer to Shaw.
See, that's luck. Where that lands now is luck. If you kick it high, everyone can get there.
Dick.
It's interesting. Everyone says, why would you kick the ball high? Because you don't know. If it goes straight to the opposition, you're dead.
Good defensive play.
So a boundary throw in. Ball to the back beams. Bruce thrown out of the way. Illegally, says the umpire. So a free kick to Cameron Bruce.
He's actually found a fair bit of the footy, hasn't he?
Yeah, coming in for his 15th disposal. Off to Green, he'll get number 16 here. Not sure we should always count those, Malcolm. He kicks towards the wing. At the back, Maloney. Creative handball. Johnson, although was met well by Prestigiacomo. Now Collingwood have got 3 players here, and they sort it out. Shaw kicks it, and the mark's taken by Swan. Off to Ben Johnson. Kick towards Davis, who's got to sit and wait. Numbers with this time the Demons. McDonald. Bruce. Well done. Good pressure coming from Ben Johnson. And we've got a boundary throw in on centre wing.
McDonald, wholehearted footballer, rewarded with the captaincy this year. 2-time best and fairest. Demons by 13, and they must have a sniff. That's a free kick against Spencer. So Fraser got front position, and Spencer just landed to his back. Play goes on anyway. Now Cloak
2 metres.
receiving from Johnson, too far out to score. Demons needing to hold up here. Lee Brown not able to hang on. He gets it back though from Swan. One-on-one here, Frawley, and arriving Bartram coming with the fight.
Kick was too high, Malcolm. Allowed Bartram to get to the contest.
He was trying to kick it to him, wasn't he? It was a direct pass. No, that's not under pressure, I call that. You still got to make a good decision with your kicking. Well, you're not going to have a go at me about that all day.
No. Just, no, it's a very good point.
Morton, 13th disposal of the ball, has been outstanding. It's a good mark by Cox. He had the height on Brock McLean. Now Davis as Collingwood load up again. He could use a goal. O'Brien, Heath Shaw. Not sure how much game time he's had. He's had a little of the ball. Anthony was interfered with. Held, according to Scott McLaren.
He was right there, umpire McLaren, about 4 or 5 metres from that contest.
Frawley, the offending player. Enough of a hold to draw the whistle. Collingwood's 7th free kick, as against Melbourne's 12.
This will test him, Malcolm.
I just want all those free kicks retrospective. Can they go back?
Tough shot this. He's building a reputation though as a wonderful kick for goal. He just misses on the near side, and Melbourne's advantage is 12 points with 8.5 minutes left before half time, and it's becoming an intriguing battle.
It is, and I've got to ask Michael, this premiership champion at Collingwood, would you be happy if that a free kick against you?
Not really.
No, because it was not really like that, was it?
You see a lot of, it's a shocking kick. Mark taken by Didak. It came from Cheney. And it was an ugly kick off the boot. Went straight into the lap of Alan Didak. It just came off the inside of the boot, and Didak couldn't believe his luck.
It was about as bad as it gets from the kick in, wasn't it?
So, 35 metres from goal. He kicks it. Collingwood back to within 6 points. And they're the things, Malcolm, that would really frustrate the coach when they've played so well to just give a gift goal like that.
Yeah, it played really well last week, that young Cheney, but this is football. You've got to keep doing it. The mental pressure of doing it week after week takes years, sometimes a lifetime to get hold of, and he's going to learn that. He actually panicked with the kick by going one step in there, and he didn't need to.
Horrible moment for young Kyle Cheney, entrusted with the kick-in duty. What went wrong, Malcolm?
The pressure of the time, I think, must have got called. The umpire's called hurry up, and he's got to the line, saw it, changed his mind with a kick, just tried to kick it back slightly towards the middle and hit the instep, and wrongly.
Spencer clean to Maloney to McDonald was a great move for Melbourne. Collingwood with the numbers in the aerial contest. Petted, clever, opens the door for Bruce. Not sure what he was after there. He got Heath Shaw.
Now, in that instance there, if he kicked it long, hard and high, he wouldn't have picked out a Collingwood player. It's luck.
Yep.
That's what I mean. Under pressure, not when you make a decision to kick it.
Shaw 8 disposals, a few more than I might have imagined, but just not as prominent as we're used to seeing him, but coming back from injury. Now Collingwood turning it over, and the Demons can build from behind the centre. Sylvia, McDonald, Jones. And a good delivery to Bate. Oh, Green was running straight into Ben Johnson. And the Demons give it up. Lee Brown. Beams, first gamer. Didak.
Don't you love the way he dances backwards? And I reckon he's the quickest bloke going backwards and most blokes are going forward.
One day someone will come from behind and really surprise him. Shaw placing it for Cox. Demons with the numbers here. Cheney, here's your chance. And he was legged, so it's Melbourne's ball. He'll be very careful about this kick, I would imagine.
In fact, I think Alan Didak could be a great rower. Hey, this is the only sport in the world where you go backwards into win, isn't it?
The Redheads share it among themselves. Good pass from Cheney to Bate, and that was a clever kick to Bruce.
Oh, look at the forward line, it's open. Get on your bike, boys.
To Green, rather. And Miller. Here comes Rivers, but Prestigiacomo getting his body over it to Swan. and Johnson, and Collingwood dangerous as they cut through the midfield. But Davey arrives and mows Marty Clark down. Another turnover, and Melbourne advance again. The skipper McDonald pumping them forward. Miller just couldn't get to the contest. Heathshaw did.
Quite first quarter Heathshaw, but it's really worked his way back into the game in this second quarter.
See, I reckon the intensity's lifted in this game a bit, boys, as we close on this half-time siren.
Fraser over to O'Brien. Pendlebury, who was involved earlier. Lockyer. So short kicking. The moment for the Magpies.
Huge test now for Melbourne and their young defenders.
Shaw. Prestigiacomo now, he's got a couple out on the wing, decides instead to draw the player and handball over the top to Swan. Ben Johnson, been very good. Johnson kicks towards half forward, wonderful kick. Maxwell, Davis, short, Didak. He's marked 40 from goal, as you can see, close to the boundary line, but he is a left footer, so this angle will suit him. Seen him many times wheel onto the left boot and thread it from here. This to tie the scores.
I reckon he's 57.5% chance.
Here he is. He runs out in characteristic fashion from 45 and kicks the goal.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Didak has his second. And for the third time this afternoon, Collingwood draw level with Melbourne. Never been in front, Malcolm, but for the third time they've drawn level.
Yeah, and this is where the heat comes on now, young players. And I mean, Didak made it by playing smart, but he is a lovely kick, lovely finisher. I think he liked that. And he didn't take him off. Well played, Mick Moldhouse.
Well called, Malcolm. He cut the odds a bit, I reckon, by running around. He certainly cut the degree of angle and difficulty.
Bit surprised how low your 57.5% was, though.
Magpies could even go in at half-time in front.
Who knows?
They are starting to put the clamps on Melbourne here. And they've forced another turnover. O'Brien lobs them forward, but a sound mark taken by Martin.
That's a very, very good mark, son. Oh, just when you needed a defender to stand up. Oh, mark him down, Dean Bailey. He's one for the future. If you can do that now, big stage, MCG, that's terrific.
Here goes Morton again. Probes. Petted second to the ball that time. Clark to O'Brien. Petted did well. Knocked it out of his hand, so it's not a holding the ball. And Melbourne hold it in. Their turn to put the pressure on Collingwood. But now there's a Collingwood free kick.
Have a look at this. Hey, that is serious stuff.
Out of last year's pre-season draft. Comes from Haileybury College and Sandringham. To the Demons lineup. Played a handful of games last year and looked pretty good. And it'll be Melbourne to build again. Maloney to Jones. But a little aimless there. Clark in the way.
Centre half back Marty Clark. Contested marks so far. 10 to Melbourne, 4 to Collingwood. Remarkable stat count because 10 is normally what you get an average for a game. So Melbourne have done particularly well in that area. Bate only as far as O'Brien. Run Fraser's been outstanding. Off to Pendlebury. Now Davis gets an accommodating bounce. A casual bounce from 60. Medhurst is the target. He's got it.
His first touch.
First touch for Paul Medhurst. And he has marked just 10 metres from goal. Will kick from 15.
How's the kick?
He's got exquisite skills, Leon Davis. Just beautiful to watch.
I reckon Frawley did the right thing then. Tried to cut down the angles, but the kick was just too good.
So Paul Medhurst had an outstanding year last year. The only Collingwood All-Australian player from 10 metres. Pops it through. The Magpies in front.
Well, I did say, Michael, this is the test for young football teams, I reckon. You know, that 10 minutes before the breaks. They've done very well. They're leading. Suddenly, Collingwood have kicked the last 3.
They've kicked the last 3. They've kicked 4 of the last 5.
Yeah, it's got the script written, hasn't it? Big takeaway.
Telling moment as Collingwood hit the front for the first time in the match. Not long before half-time. Dominating disposals in this quarter, and everyone breathing a little easier. Everyone of the black and white persuasion, that is. Collingwood now by a goal. Melbourne had a 3-on-1 on the southern wing, but lost possession, and the Magpies made them pay, and they might do it again as they're starting to work the ball away from the ball-ups very effectively. Medhurst arriving hard. You never know what he might do. The best he can manage here is a minor score. It's Collingwood by 7 points.
That is the first rush behind, and I haven't had a chance, but that is one of the best rules of all time now. It's made footy exciting on the goal line again.
Certainly has, and a free kick there to Bate against Lockyer at half-back for the D's.
I should add by not purposely rushing the point. Hasn't it been good? I mean, I've really enjoyed the footy.
Yeah. It just makes it so much more exciting.
Absolutely.
Short kick to Maloney.
And all those dud defenders that used to do it, shame to you.
Oh dear. Kick inside, mark taken by Martin has been impressive. So 90 seconds for Melbourne to register a goal before the long break. Bate. Bruce, Collingwood have got numbers back here. So Melbourne will need to just work their way through the situation. Bruce off a step, kicks high to half forward. Fraser does very well in a one-on-one contest with Paul Johnson, and he marks it half back. Still time for the Magpies.
Why would he push him like that? Say he accidentally just pushed him in the chin. The umpire would have reversed that. There's no need for that.
High to the wing. Almost a clever mark to Swan, but the boundary line too close.
It's been good too, Swan, hasn't he? Good handball, good deft handball, brought a lot of players into it.
I got the feeling it might have been about the feet. Maybe Johnson felt the feet were coming up and said something, and Fraser responded to the words.
You're not in the schoolyard now.
Sort of. Green to Jones.
This is a bit better than the schoolyard I used to play in this one.
Melbourne just losing their cohesiveness here. Collingwood upping the pressure. Looking much better than they did early. And this game has turned. Dean Bailey's watched a 13-point lead evaporate, and the swing, in fact, has been 20, with Collingwood now 7 points to the good. Fraser getting on top in the ruck. Here goes Bruce, though, giving Melbourne a chance late. Jones having just crossed the 50, but he misses everything. It's the Magpies' ball.
You've got to nail them, don't you? They're important kicks. You wouldn't believe how important that kick was for the psyche of the team.
O'Brien, Swan, disposal number 16, and Fraser's been outstanding. 10 contested possessions for Josh Fraser this afternoon, and just reinforcing the theory that he seems to play better when he's got the sole responsibility of the ruckman, which he has this afternoon. Tuvey. Strong hands, Lockyer. Orgy Didak was flying. Here's Brad Dick. Half time at the MCG, and Collingwood lead it by 7 points. 8-3 plays, 7-2. Malcolm, a good comeback.
Look, it was their quarter in the end, but it took a long while to get there. The young Melbourne team's been okay, but Collingwood showed some professionalism towards the end.
Magpies by 7 points at halfway at the MCG on Saturday afternoon football. Paul Johnson with the job of trying to stop Josh Fraser's growing dominance in those ruck contests, Michael
He's
Christian.
played extremely well. 5 marks, 16 disposals, Josh Fraser. He mentioned during the second term, 10 contested possessions. So he certainly has been a wonderful player, and tends to be the case when he's got the sole responsibility. Third quarter underway. Johnson wins this one down to Maloney's, wrapped up immediately by Swan, and a secondary bounce.
They would replace him in ruck if Josh did go down. Not that we want to see that happen, of course.
What, into today it would have to be Lee Brown.
Yeah.
O'Brien scrambles it forward. Didn't kick it high enough, though, Malcolm. Ball to the back. Chance for Martin. Tucked up in the back pocket. Well done, Davis. Applied the pressure. Martin. Deft little touch to Warnock. They're under the pump here. Frawley. Back to Warnock. Look out, son. You are gone. Free kick to Collingwood. And it'll come back to Nathan Brown, I suspect, who started at centre half back on Brad Miller. His mobility just couldn't quite see him go with Miller, so Nick Malthouse has put him forward, and this is an opportunity to kick the first goal of the second half.
It's the nightmare tackle, isn't it? One arm behind your back, all you can do is plead for mercy from the umpire.
So from 45 metres, oh gee, it's a wonderful kick. He splits the centre, and the Collingwood fans up as one. So Nathan Brown, his first goal of the afternoon. He managed to sneak 4 goals last year in his debut year, so well done to Nathan Brown.
It was really all the young Demon defenders then just got themselves in a bit of a bind with a great little hand smother from the Collingwood player, and from that moment onwards it was trouble. We talk about the perfect tackle, and there it is. One arm and the other, it just got you.
Unfamiliar role for Nathan Brown. He's gone forward. That's his 5th career goal only. Been on Collingwood's list for 4 years. They drafted him very early as a young bloke with a big, strong body. And he emerged last year playing, I think, every game but one. Big part of their future plans. Ben Johnson, a player who lost his spot for the last third of last season. And he's looking to consolidate again now. Didak, very good in the second quarter. Kick here not really going anywhere. Rivers needed to mark it. Martin gives support. Sold the dummy well. Now to Bartram. Bruce. Bennell.
Oh, well done.
Coolly around the tackler. Jones. Morton. Outstanding so far today. Goes for Pettit. O'Brien from behind trying to steal the mark. What he did do was keep his feet. Did it beautifully. And Didak's away again. Become a very important player in this game. So's this man Swan. Collingwood by 13 points. Kicked the last 4 goals now, and Melbourne have to stop the rot. They get some respite here. There'll be a throw-in.
You're right. This is this first 10 minutes of after half time. You come out a little bit sore. You know, it's only still round 2. You're just starting to find your breath again, and just very important time here.
Fraser does brilliantly out of the ruck, kicks it deep. Brown at the back, contest at the full. Medhurst, very clever in this situation. Kick around the body. He's offline. Behind only to Paul Medhurst. So the margin now out to 14 points in favour of the Magpies early going in this third quarter.
Well, it looks as though the Magpies have taken a quarter or two to get going for the second week in a row. Malcolm, do patterns develop along these lines?
I think trends develop, yes, you're quite right, over a period of time. But I don't think I'll be asking Mick.
Gee, now Rivers is down and in trouble here. Heath Shaw has tried to take him out of the marking contest by using his body, and I think he's going to be reported. Scott McLaren seems to be fumbling for his book as he's trying to convince these players that they should stop them.
Was that a genuine attempt to mark, Malcolm?
I've got to tell you, Rivers was brave, no question of that. But when Heath Shaw realised he was under the ball, all he did was protect himself and turn his body. If you're not allowed to turn your body in this game, the game and all its rules should be thrown down the toilet. You've got to learn to protect yourself in the air and on the ground. And all I think Heath Shaw did was that. Sadly, Rivers was brave.
Yes, you can get hurt playing football with 2 parties playing it legitimately. Oh, Davis on to Jones, who just lacked awareness there. It was mown down, and it's all coming apart for the Demons.
And Tim, we should follow that. We'll just wait till this unfolds. I'll get back to that.
He has Nathan Brown in the box seat, and Didak roving. Pressure here on the Melbourne defence. Medhurst didn't get a good bounce, but perhaps could have attacked it harder.
Oh.
Frawley put McLean under the pump. And Brad Dick gets a kick at last, but Martin chops it off. Dick didn't have a touch until right on half-time when he was running through the middle with the ball and the siren sounded. You could see the frustration etched on his face. Here goes Morton again. Dick's coming at him. They say he could be a bit of a Junior Rioli type of player, Brad Dick. Morton once more. Bartram. Touched off the boot, so I thought it was called touched. It is paid as a mark to Heath Shaw, so Collingwood can build again, and Melbourne having trouble advancing far beyond the centre early in this third quarter.
Wide to Medhurst. Oh, gee, Medell overcommitted. Now Medhurst away. Kicks it short poorly. Well done, Swan. Kept his feet. Got it from Anthony and couldn't quite get it around. Had the right idea. Just couldn't quite kick it to the left-hand post, which he needed to. So behind to the Magpies.
Michael, here it is here. Here's this kick. Shaw comes in, realises he's going to clash, and someone will say, oh, he took his eye off the ball and tried it. You're allowed to turn your head and protect yourself.
I don't know that he did take his eye off the ball.
Well, he turned his head because he was going to hit himself.
But that was peripheral vision rather than him looking at the opponent.
Correct. And I reckon there's a few blokes been done in this competition for doing that. And if it goes to the tribunal, wherever what they want to do with it, just remember that when you play, you have to protect your head yourself.
Here's Medhurst. Brown there as well. Nathan Brown, throw in.
Do you reckon he'll go? Do you reckon they'll look at it?
Not absolutely certain that the umpire took his number, although he did seem to speak to Rivers, didn't he?
It's wrong.
Your comments will be noted, I'm sure, Malcolm. O'Brien, quick kick. Oh! Anthony kicks a brilliant goal. Collingwood stretch the lead. It's Anthony's third. He doesn't kick too many of the inventive type like that. They're mostly straightforward set shots. But he had the numbers against him. He was on the ground and somehow he has conjured it.
Here's the ruck work from Fraser.
Wasn't it brilliant?
Right back into the track. I know it was all minuscule centimetres in it, but the art of pushing it back for someone running straight at goal is clever. You invent your own stuff sometimes in the forward line. 3 players were inventive there. Fraser first, O'Brien second, and then John Anthony.
Well, Josh Fraser, 18 disposals now, and his ruck work has been superb. We may have even taken over from Dane Swan as best on ground. Umpire says play on. No, he's going to call it back. He initially called play on, but the umpires have got an out now with their bounces.
Which they should have. It's the best rule invented. Should have been in ages ago.
You said the rush behind rule was the best rule invented.
Make up your mind, Malcolm.
It's the best rule invented for the umpires, this one.
Lockyer wrapped up by a couple of demons and will get a secondary bounce. In fact, a third bounce.
Tim, there's rules for forward line players, on ballers, ruckman, backman, umpires.
Yeah, give them a go too.
Perfect bounce this time by umpire Donlan. Cox third man up, got it to Clark. Hurried kick out of the congestion. Medhurst getting involved in things at the moment. Paul Medhurst kicks it back to a central location. Josh Fraser slipped Paul Johnson, and it's marked 45 from goal directly in front. This has been a wonderful performance from Josh Fraser. Medhurst, Malcolm, getting involved.
Yeah, he had that late start to the year, didn't he? He
just had a back problem pretty much for the entire summer. So this to extend the Collingwood lead. Josh Fraser directly in front. Looks pretty good. Margin 27 points.
Tim, before the game we talked about perhaps halfway through the third quarter. It's probably happened just a touch earlier. Probably the 10-minute mark of the third quarter. But in true football parlance, this is really a team really almost at the peak, almost at its peak, Collingwood, and Melbourne's still on the rise as a young group. So the script's not been written, but nearly been written.
Disposals 4 to centre so far in the quarter. Collingwood 18, Melbourne just 4.
And the entries to the 50 are 6-1, which probably flatters Melbourne because I reckon their one might have crossed by a hair's breadth. There was that attack that Harry O'Brien repelled. There's an arm chop here. Another Collingwood free kick. Fraser dominating the ruck now, having a very big day. Goes for Nathan Brown, who's become something of a target. Collingwood by 27 points. It's getting ugly for the Demons after such a promising start. They have the scouts here. Jett has got it, mown down by Davis. Ever dangerous in that situation. Johnson, Jones, and Davis. Oh, it's Dick this time who makes the tackle. And Melbourne being kept honest to the nth degree. Pendlebury Just nudging it on his boot just to get rid of it. Jones, strong bullocking stuff. Clever kick off the outside of the boot. To get it into the edge of the corridor at least. Maloney, Green, Clark to steal. Lee Brown, Shaw. Hyde, Malcolm, you'd love that ball. Travis Cloke's not so keen on it. Medhurst can't get rid of the tacklers, but might have had his back laying upon. It's not paid. It'll be a ball up. I reckon it was 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. Yeah. Medhurst might have let go of the footy.
I think that's right, Tim. I think the first free kick was to Melbourne.
Yep.
So a bounce 45 metres from Collingwood's goal. Jones again involved. Slipped the handball to McLean, who kicks inside the corridor. Prestigiacomo! Couldn't take the mark. Play on to the corner. Presti gets back and finds the footy. Does it well. Handball though astray. Bate does well. Little toe poke to his own advantage. Now a chance for the brilliance of Aaron Davey. O'Brien in hot pursuit. Davey tracks it to his own advantage. 60 from goal. Wheels back to centre half forward. McLean marks. Too far out to score. 55 metres from goal at centre half forward. Oh, gee, kick. That was a good pass, Malcolm. Off the bait, taken by Davey. Cheney gets it and chips it wide. McDonald, a little chip into the pocket is okay, and the mark's taken by Brad Green.
Okay, left footer. Can he kick this? Senior player. Someone's got to stand up for Melbourne now. They've got to reverse this trend. He's a player that can do it. Take some sort of kick from here, though.
Collingwood have kicked the last 6 of the game. So Brad Green has kicked a couple, both in the first quarter. That is a superb kick, and he's answered the challenge. Malcolm, a goal to Melbourne. So Brad Green kicks goal number 3, and the margin is back to 21 points.
Wow. Yes, did they need that? Of course they did. But that's a lovely kick. It's got to stop the drought. And some stage or other, the only way you're going to win the game of footy is to kick more goals, and that was a beautiful kick. And obviously much needed. But the next one's important.
Melbourne's first goal for half an hour of playing time, and it took an exquisite kick from Brad Green to produce it and bring the Demon fans out of their seats for the first time in a while. Margin still just 21 points, but certainly the trend of the game with Collingwood. Tuvey, Swan, and this is young Dane Beams in his first game. Late inclusion for Dale Thomas. To Shannon Cox. That's a lovely ball for Cloke. Warnock's done pretty well, though. Here's Lockyer, who kicked 2 first quarter goals. Gives Cloke a chance. Just grabbed at the last minute. It's a touch ball. I thought play on had been called by the umpire, maybe for not.
Free kick, I think, 15, for a high
free
tackle.
kick in the end for Frawley.
It was really clumsy free kick in the end. It was a nothing, wasn't it? I mean, he could have put him on enormous, because it certainly wasn't 15 metres.
Bennell, one of the 2 young Swan Districts players, playing his second game for the Demons. He goes to the other in Jetta, gives him a big ask. Bruce for Bate. Just had to knock it on because he was about to be mown down. Here comes Jetta, and now Bruce, who is a good kick from on the 50. They needed that. Margin 20.
See, there's important moments. Multiple, 2 goals in a row. Get the next one out the centre. There's the 3, Tim, and they're back in it. Goal kicking. Very important. 99% of games are won by the team that kicks the most goals.
It's one of your best, Malcolm.
That is the best.
No, but last week, you got to remember, Hawthorn kicked more goals than Geelong and lost the game. Remember that?
So Martin now, that was a dubious looking handball. In fact, the umpire has seen it that way. And a free kick to Collingwood be taken by Brad Dick. Just backward of centre wing, kicks towards Cloke, who marks. Between wing and half forward. Beautiful kick towards Swan, who marks on his chest. 60 from goal. Dane Swan, can he find a target? Looks for Didak, but chipping in. Well played by Warnock. As we tick through halfway in this third quarter. Green off to Davey. Wider still to Bate. Had to stretch, but can go on here. He's got Jetta inside for support. Instead, accepts the kick towards Miller. Back to Bate. 60 from goal. Now, a good mark taken there by Maxwell. He hits the ground running.
Johnson. Long to a one-on-one. Nathan Brown kept his feet. Davey arriving, applying pressure. Clark. Pendlebury. And now Brown. It's too strong for Didak. Anthony doing some foxing. Didak trying to give it back to Anthony, I fancy. Now, is that a rush behind? Warnock took it through. The Magpie fans didn't miss it. Oh, Joff is out of his seat. He's livid. Jack Anthony's not thrilled either. It's a behind to Collingwood. I couldn't see Joffa, but I'm just guessing that it was.
No, taken by Rivers. Wants to draw his marksman in Brown. He does. Gives it to McDonald. He kicks it short to Johnson, who's intent on playing on Maxwell. Was aware to what he was trying to achieve and applied the smother. Lee Brown now. Shaw. Maxwell, the captain. And a great kick off the boot. Beams couldn't control it. Swan dives on the footy. Morgan coughs it up to Rivers. Jones, good tackle on him by Dick. Pressure now. Collingwood got the numbers. Tuvey. Where will he go? Decides to go long and high, Malcolm, to the goal square. Didak, oh, well done by Martin. Just got a fingernail on it. Deflected it away from Didak's grasp. And we'll get a boundary thrown in the forward pocket.
I think he might have had a shot at goal then if he didn't hit it right.
Gee, the young Demons are struggling now, though. You can see them just being overwhelmed by Collingwood. They can't hang on, I don't think, in this contest. Didak and Pendlebury, two highly skilled players. Cloak still goalless. Warnock hasn't done a bad job. Clark, and Warnock's got him. Forces him away from goal. Ben Johnson kept under pressure. Clark. Good stuff from the Demons. Fighting on here. Lockyer.
Fend off, I think.
Against
Collingwood.
Raised arm.
Really important time in the game now. The Demons are pressing, aren't they? They're trying as hard as they can to stay in touch.
Well, I just reckon the last 4 or 5 minutes have at least stabilised things.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
So it's Nathan Jones with the footy, and he gives to Maloney. Over the top to Frawley. Now Martin. Had an interesting day down the back. It's an interesting kick, a bit of a wobbler. So the Demons have numbers around it. Sylvia, McDonald, Cheney, and back whence it came to Sylvia. Clark's got him. The boundary line was Sylvia's, or rather McDonald's friend, and there'll be a throw in. Got a question about the 3-goal rule, Malcolm.
Yep.
Do you make adjustments according to which team it is that's 3 or 4 goals down? I mean, is it a 2-goal rule for Adelaide and a 4-goal rule for Geelong? Or
no,
just apply it flat, Chad?
No, it's flat. It's flat. There's no inflation in it at all. There's not a recession or inflation in it. Nowhere near it.
I've always wanted to know that.
No, it's always a 3-goal rule.
Mick Malthouse looking on. 21 points, the Collingwood advantage. They trail by 13 at quarter time, led by 7 at half time. Davis to himself. Wrapped up by Bruce going nowhere. The umpire will ball it up again on centre wing.
The best way to do it, though, Tim, is to actually work your way to get one, then get the next one out of the centre, and then get the third one out the centre, and the other team is then rattled. That's when the 3-goal rule applies beautifully.
So a bounce. Fraser has been outstanding. Tried to get it to Davis, but the boundary line too close.
It's a tight piece of play here, though, to be quite serious about this game. This is up for grabs now. If Melbourne can get the next couple, Tim, maybe 3, it's on.
Fraser at front position, reaching over Johnson, or somehow Lockyer slipped the handball, picked up by Tuvey, back to Fraser, just scrambles it forward, wasn't high enough, Malcolm. Coming up to meet at Medhurst, handball was too slick for Didak. Swan will be first to pick up though. Back inside, Pendlebury, good looping handball to accommodate Medhurst. What can he conjure up from here? He kicks to a central location, superb stuff, finds Anthony. And I'm not sure Paul Medhurst would have done that 2 years ago.
I agree with you. And I'm certain that the good hands from around the ruck contest again set this up. Guess who? Swan. Smart, clever, constructive. Set it all up. That was the one that they had to win, Melbourne, and they didn't.
So Anthony's kicked 3. from directly in front, 35 metres from goal. Oh, don't tell me. Oh, he's kicked it. Goal to Collingwood. So John Anthony kicks goal number 4, and Collingwood extend their lead out to 27 points.
Yep, and I must say I did watch that play because I thought Medhurst would do that as we watched the build up here. And young Martin sort of went to the goal square and then went out. He couldn't have stopped him at the goal square. He should have stood other side of him, which is quite interesting. He'll learn.
Jack Anthony, 4 goals and plenty of supply coming in this quarter. 13-5 the entries. Collingwood taking charge of the game. Margin 27 and I suspect growing. Beams for Didak and O'Brien. Didak's the left footer, so he's the good option there, although in the end he used the right. Maloney, Morton, all mown down. That's reckless and in the back from Davis.
Important getaway. They're just starting to win the important. This is when you really don't need to look at stats. You look at the game and think, gee, they're in their defensive area again.
Oh, gee, that was a dangerous kick, and they might pay Anthony from unbalanced without a run-up and well offline. And the margin is out 28.
Got to ask you a question. Does Anthony Rocker come back into this team? I see he's fit. The way Anthony's playing and the way they're sort of combining up and forward. Interesting question, isn't it?
Certainly is. As in the Eagles, his best, Jack Anthony. 4 goals. He kicked 4 round 16 last year against North Melbourne. As Melbourne bring it forward, Sylvia's outnumbered by a couple, but does very well to get hands on it first. But Cox breaks the tackle and emerges from half-back. Off to Didak. Now O'Brien towards half-forward. Swan's got to beat a couple here. Almost did. Medhurst. He's taken it over. Boundary throw-in, half-forward.
I was going to facetiously suggest, Malcolm, that he could play centre-half forward, but you don't believe in them.
They're gone. On the 5th quarter tonight, Chris and I are going to talk about it. They're absolutely an ancient, prehistoric animal.
No such thing as a centre-half forward in the modern game. Here's Leon Davis, who is a very dangerous will-o'-the-wisp forward, and he kicks another goal for the Magpies. And they lead by 34 points. And the Demons right now aren't in the hunt.
Once again, Fraser trying to be inventive. And I think that's where, stoppage is in play. I mean, it has to fall your way. We understand all that. But to actually try and bring it over the back to give him some space opens up all sorts of possibilities. Good ruck work again.
4 goals from stoppages for the Magpies so far in the quarter.
How many goals has the centre-half forward got today, Tim?
The hard part is trying to work out who's playing there, Malcolm.
That's what I'm talking about. There's no such position anymore. It is gone. It's like the drop kick. Do you remember that?
Just. Fraser. Taken by Davey. Little fumble. Toe poke to Dota Green, who gave it back to Davey. Deft little kick around the body. He's okay, and the mark's taken by Brad Miller, who started this game so impressively.
He might be centre-half forward, but look where he's getting it on the wing. They're either wings or 4 forwards now.
50 metres, I think. 50 metres against O'Brien. Warnock, in fact, it was Bruce took the mark right on the boundary line, and after he marked, Shane O'Brien pushed him in the back, as we'll watch it again. Mark, oh, gee, I don't know. Malcolm, what do you think?
Well, to the letter of the law, it's right. I mean, it's a waste of energy from O'Brien here.
Goal to Bruce gives Melbourne some hope. So Cameron Bruce, who he's the leading possession winner on the ground with 25, kicks his first goal of the afternoon.
Michael, it's a nothing. You push. He's already marked the ball. It's a decision you make. I call it a dumb decision. 50 metres is a harsh penalty for it, but it's a really, really silly thing to do.
Cameron Bruce, the beneficiary of a 50-metre penalty for this. He'd taken the mark and he was pushed.
Yep.
There are no two ways about it, are there?
No, but it's a silly... Yeah, I said it was a dumb thing to do.
It's a silly thing to do, yeah.
And the 50 is the only item in the umpire's repertoire to deal with it. He has to give it.
Is that wrong, Tim?
Well, it acts as a pretty powerful disincentive.
Absolutely, it does.
We still see the acts committed, don't we?
Absolutely. Well,
Talk about inflation. It used to be 15 metres. Now it's 50. Where did that 35 metres come from, Tim?
I reckon it came from the 1982 grand final, actually, when I recall seeing the professional 15-metre penalty used hand over fist all day. Teams realised that 15 metres was nothing compared to play going on quickly, which could kill you.
Well, why don't we have a 25-metre? Well, it'll put you within... No, you don't like it?
No. Stick with the 50.
Okay.
But pay the price if you offend, which Shane O'Brien did.
Good mark by the Melbourne skipper, receiving from Davey. Now Green. Spoil from Dick. Did very well then against Morton.
Here's our centre-half forward.
Cloak.
Kick on the wing. Handball on the wing. It's non-existent. There's no such person anymore.
Clark to Lockyer. Long ball for Medhurst, who after a very slow start is becoming a figure in the game. Pendlebury gives it back to him, but Frawley was equal to the challenge. Did well. Medhurst wants a free. The Magpie fans want a free. They don't get it. I think the umpire would describe it as incidental contact, that the player was going for the ball and made some contact, but not so illegal that it should be penalised. Here go the Demons. Morton once again has an inimitable loping, graceful style. This is big Jake Spencer of Townsville. Oh, Morton, he's gone the sky ball again, Melbourne. Second time today.
Look at, he's found a teammate. Everyone had a chance to get there. In fact, half the Southern stand had a chance to get there.
Genie, half back, took plenty of time, but kicks it to a one-on-one. In fact, it turned out to be a two-on-one because Lee Brown chipped in from the side and has taken the mark on centre wing. Chips it to half forward. Pendlebury away. Kicks it beautifully to Beams.
Turn around, son. Turn around. Look at the goals. Look and see if a teammate's ready to go and lead to you. Well, don't turn your back on it.
Well, in fairness, he did have a quick look, I think.
Yeah, but you've got to have a longer look than that. I mean, you can't have a peep. It's not a peep show. It's a real long, hard look.
It was a token look.
Yeah, it was.
He's been impressive. Hasn't had a lot of the footy. But
if your name is Dane and you play for Collingwood, is it mandatory to have one arm covered in tattoos?
From 50, oh, gee, that is a wonderful kick. Kicks his first goal in AFL football. Dane Beams, taken number 29 in last year's draft, is impressed through the pre-season. Looked as though in the pre-season he was here to stay. Looked as though he belonged, and he's certainly shown that and a bit more this afternoon.
Well, that's gone. He's kicked that right on 50, and that has gone, what, 7 or 8 metres. That's a 58-metre kick, probably. That's going to be handy if he can do that.
So is it okay to walk back with your back turned on the play when you know your own ability as well as this young fellow does?
No, it's not a... No, it is, Tim, it is not a peep show. It is a team game, and you must look for teammates. Come on, Michael, talk.
You're absolutely right, Malcolm.
34-point lead to Collingwood. O'Brien to Pendlebury. Benello for Melbourne. Maloney. Sylvia. Now Davey. And for the Demons to have any chance in the last quarter, they'd need to kick a couple of goals in the last 90 seconds here. Green to Miller on the lead, and they should get one here. Man on the mark, 35 metres out. The angle, 45-ish.
Aaron Davies been a star. 15 disposals in this third quarter for Melbourne.
Miller's kicked one for the day. Missed a similar shot out on the other flank at this end in the first quarter. Started both of them left and they both faded right. This one started left and didn't go right. And that's a miss that will frustrate Melbourne. Still they trail by 33.
Short finds Lockyer in the back pocket, who kicks across his defensive goal square to Cox. Young emerging player. And off the rookie list from South Fremantle. Gives it to Ben Johnson, who's been very good this afternoon. Pendlebury off a step. Delivers to his captain, Maxwell. And that was a similar crowd yell. No, not this time. And to the incident where O'Brien gave away 50 metres a few moments ago to Cameron Bruce.
I reckon a few of the Magpie fans would like to take that one to Andrew Demetriou.
Oh, big leap from Ned Hurst, but in front. A good strong mark by Martin. As we've seen him do a couple of times today, Malcolm, he's been most impressive.
Yeah, he's going to... It's been good.
As we watch this mark again, as the three-quarter time siren goes, but at three-quarter time, it's Collingwood by 33.
Big quarter, 6 goals to 2 from the Magpies. They look to have it under control. About to go in the last quarter. We are at the MCG. It's Collingwood and Melbourne. Collingwood with the whip hand, but 33 points. Gettable if the Demons could find something spectacular. Umpire McLaren sets them on their way. Spencer shares that with Fraser. And there'll be another ball up.
It's belief time now for the D's. The senior players have really got to stand up here, contribute in this last quarter, help the youngies through it.
Fraser dominant. Didak to Swan. Pendlebury, the midfield machine for the Magpies. And here's a new name amid them. Dane Beams kicked a lovely goal in the third term. Green went back with courage there. Here's Nathan Brown playing as a forward. Cox. Now Dick, who is a speedster from outside 50. Kick falling short, but it bounced, and you never know what it might do once it does. Collingwood still a chance. Pendlebury, not so much look away as not looking at all. Leon Davis, brilliant, freakish, and Swan will line them up. Did he know someone was standing there, or did he kick and hope?
Yeah, it was a bit of a kick and hope on the outside of the boot, and Dane Swan had a bit of a smile on his face then. I thought, wow, how could I get here by myself, and how could this kick end up here with me? Have a look at that.
That's the look away kick. Swan was playing well when most of his teammates were struggling early. Now that they're on top, his kicking has deserted him. He misses a sitter.
Margin 34 points. Aaron Davey, 25 disposals, was dominant in the third quarter. And called a play on. And he ran out. He didn't kick it to himself. Ran out of the 10-metre square and will get a bounce at the top of that square.
Yeah,
just lost his mind there.
And the rule is, of course, the ball must touch the boot to be deemed back in play.
So, big pack of players around the football. Beautiful bounce from umpire Donlan. Morton tries to knock it through. Oh, gee, it's an arm wrestle there. And then another bounce. Jake Spencer, the young demon, to contest, number 42. Travis Cloak doing the ruck work for Collingwood. Cloak gets it to Swan. He's immediately wrapped up by Rivers. Again, he finds it somehow. Off to Nathan Brown. Snaps from the pocket. Scrapes it in for a behind.
Just can't believe how difficult Dane Swan. He got 2 goes at it then, and like there was no room for anything, and yet he still found a handball to a teammate. It was quite brilliant.
Aaron Davey has another go, and this time he executes in regulation manner and delivers to Bruce. He's learning a new skill in doing the kick in as Davey, and I guess he's not too practiced at having time called and having someone start to come at him in that situation, and he responded instinctively. He just stepped around him the way he has done all over the ground so many times. Spencer and Fraser still at it. Didak, Cloak. Fraser again. Now Dick getting into the game after a quiet start. First game after missing a full season with a knee. Ben Johnson, good centre. Defensive mark taken by Warnock up in front. Being claimed by Medhurst from behind. Always a feisty character is Paul Medhurst. Morton goes wide, too wide for Bruce. It did bounce inside the chalk though.
Look, I know, it was a nice mark then by Warnock. Now Warnock and Martin, as I said earlier, Michael, I mean, they look two likely types to hold down key defensive positions. I know it's a long time to go yet till they become experienced players, but there is something they can build back there with Dean Bailey.
Fraser, the quick kick, but marked by Green. Needed to kick it high. Green's got it 40 metres from his own defensive goal. Off to Davey, confronted by Ben Johnson, so just squares the ball to one of the unusual, Malcolm, to see Stephen Martin. He's got the all black boots on. Don't often see it in today's football. Davey to Green.
You've got to prove you can play before you wear black boots.
Miller, well tackled by Prestigiacomo, and he's been pinged for a throw. So the human clamp Prestigiacomo has put pay to Brad Miller this afternoon. Advantage called. Ben Johnson. Oh, Pendlebury, that was just a nothing attempt. And free kick to Melbourne at half-back.
Actually, that's not dissimilar to Shaw's jump. He turned away because he knew he was in trouble. Now, he didn't hurt the lad underneath him. Not dissimilar. So if Collingwood want to use some footage, that would be it to show how that happens in footy.
I thought he might have gone the fly, having been inspired by Presti in the previous quarter. It's Harry O'Brien giving his impersonation of the human clamp. Heath Shaw selling the dummy to Bate. Cox pumping it forward to Pendlebury, who's been unspectacular but very solid today.
Up high. Give everyone a chance.
Yeah, the sky ball, and Medhurst was able to get under it. Just didn't do enough to get the nod. Collingwood, though, full of pressure now, and they win the ball back easily. Melbourne just not able to retain possession. Medhurst doing some very good team-oriented things. Demon defenders surrounding it. McLean, Martin, Spencer, Big Jake, giving it up again. Cloak, and on the rebound, Collingwood can hurt. Medhurst in the pocket. Runs out, casually, curling it, but not quite enough.
Good signs in the second half for Medhurst, isn't there? Just been gradually been chipping away.
Runner-up in the best and fairest last year. 50 goals, as many as he's ever kicked in a season, equalling his best 1 year at Fremantle.
He's only had the 8 touches, but most of them have come in this second half.
Spencer's kick missed by Swan, sliding in Clark. Handball was astray. Swan will make it look okay though. Somehow gets the handball back to Cloak. Shovels it to Fraser, who has another disposal. Kicks towards Anthony, who went too early. Front and centre was Lockyer, but beyond him, and a chance for Bennell now, who just slipped over. Oh, gave it to Bartram. He threw the ball. Advantage. Long sweeping handball from Didek, went straight to Rivers. Chance for Martin. Oh, was pushed out by Nathan Brown. Bennell's got another chance. Wrestled to the ground by Cloak. There's a mismatch. Spills out Didek again. This time the looping handball is effective. Oh, Swan, a rare mistake. Bruce, Jones, and Melbourne get out of trouble now. McLean at half back.
And delivers to Bate. Couldn't hang on under pressure. Clark keeping it alive for Maxwell. His first year as skipper. What a great honour to captain the famous Collingwood Football Club. This is an impressive effort by Cox until the kick. Straight to James McDonald. Hasn't got a lot out in front of him, but he does see Miller on the lead. And he's got 3 men running forward now, and he's got one coming away from goal, and that's Petted. O'Brien, a legitimate contact in the spoiling attempt. McDonald, well tackled.
Holding the ball, Tim, free kick. In the tackle, he actually put the ball on the ground in the tackle, so deemed to be holding the ball.
How good's this from O'Brien? His last 3 strides, he made up 5. Can you make up 18 metres in 5 metres? I mean, it's just, he was incredible. Yeah, that's
interesting one. Well, I thought that was a legitimate disposal. I mean, why should that be holding the ball?
Yeah.
You brought down, you've got to be given a chance to get rid of it, and he got a hand pass away.
I think Christo's been more than fair today to Collingwood, but I thought you were a bit biased then, Michael. You allowed to say that?
In what respect?
Did you thought it was holding the ball?
McDonald?
Yeah.
Well, he put the ball down on the ground.
No, he just slipped and got to the ground.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were a bit harsh. I agree with you, Tim.
Thanks, Mark.
Collingwood now. Didek across half back.
And you are, Mike. I'll listen to you a lot. And, you are more than fair.
Clark.
Absolutely, most of the time.
Dydek again.
Not like
Beautiful kick this. Lockyer. He's off and away. Gets a good shepherd from Nathan Brown and drills it onto the chest of Cloak.
Hey, here's the centre half forward. Remember the position that used to be played? He's going to have a shot from centre half forward.
How old are you?
Yes.
So Travis Cloak coming in for disposal number 17. And speaking of disposals, Josh Fraser, 24 today, just a third time in 176 games that he's got more than 23 disposals. There's one for you, Malcolm. Cloak from 50. What a wonderful kick. Has it got the carry? Yes. Goal to Collingwood. Cloak kicks his first of the afternoon, and the Collingwood lead now out to 42 points.
Dare I say it, Michael, the reason why Josh Fraser won't have had that many possessions is because half the time he's off the ground.
Correct. And when you think about it, for a ruckman to get 20 plus disposals is a pretty good effort. There's not many of them to do it.
He's had bigger games, but he's been a contributor, and the Magpie Army are on pretty good terms with themselves. Their team leads by 42 points, and they have Melbourne well beaten now. O'Brien to Brad Dick, and it was a good mark, and he's a sight to gladden Magpie hearts. Talented young player.
No push. Oh, umpire, excuse me. Unless it was my eyes. Have a look at this. It's a nice mark from Dick, wasn't it?
Here we go.
Oh.
That was okay, wasn't it?
No, I've seen 100 frees given.
Kick's okay. It's a magnificent kick. It's better than the previous one. He's having target practice.
I'm not sure. Legitimate use of the body, and that wasn't a big push, but those have been paid for the last 2 years. I reckon that's a bit unfair on what I've seen for the last 1 and a bit years, since someone magically changed the rule.
Here's the mark taken by Travis Cloak. Was it a push? Looked like it. No, if nothing else, it was a...
And that's the umpires on that side.
Yeah.
Remember when the hands in the back rule was introduced, there was discussion as to whether, as to the fact that a push with the palms of the hands was illegal, but if you did use your forearm, it was okay. That's about what happened there.
Cloak involved again. Handball, Medhurst slips the tackle at Davey and kicks it to Lockyer, who has got it. Gee, it was a beautifully executed kick from Medhurst. Just had the right weight on it, Malcolm, to get to Lockyer, and he'll kick from 45. Strong play from Cloak.
I think a few of the red and blue boys have gone home.
So Tarkin Lockyer, who kicked a couple of goals in the first quarter, has been another very good player for Collingwood from just inside 50. Hasn't got the carry, has he? No, just got through for a behind.
It's 49 points. I heard Dean Bailey on the eve of the season speaking at a lunch about fitness and football age, and he said that his team, because it's generally young, is still developing its football age, its maturity, and I think we've seen that exposed today, that the things they were able to do early in this match, running hard to provide targets and so on, to have a presence in physical contests, has faded as the days worn on, to a point now where it's almost embarrassingly fallen to something approximating zero.
Yeah, and the other thing, of course, Tim, as the year goes on, those bodies get tighter and tighter.
So Brad Dick did his knee in the pre-season of 2008, missed the entire year, comes back today, has done some nice things in the second half, and very nearly kicks a goal there. He puts Collingwood 50 points in front.
Strategically, Josh Fraser's the only recognised ruckman today. I was just thinking, why didn't Dean Bailey get his ruckman just to run forward? Put enormous pressure on making the play, and Josh Fraser has to make a decision. And run the gauntlet. Take the game away from him. What do you think, Michael?
Well, yeah, I mean, certainly in terms of...
Make him work.
Yeah, make him work. He's, in fact, done the opposite indeed, Malcolm, because he's the one that's got forward on a couple of occasions and created havoc. But Bruce has got it for Melbourne on centre wing. Oh, he doesn't know where to go. Oh, the reverse torpedo, if you don't mind. O'Brien and Sylvia, 2-on-1. Sylvia would be happy just to get this over. Well, he can't. And O'Brien picks it up. Got support inside from Maxwell. His short kick. Beams got better as the game has gone on. Been impressed with what he's done. Off to Clark, and now through the midfield. The Magpies can run. Marty Clark, Anthony on a long lead. Kick's got a bit too much on it. Anthony, what can he conjure up here? One way, then the other. Oh, does well. Slips the tackle. Off the deck. A miracle goal. Oh, gee. He's headed that way. Missing to the near side. Margin 51 points.
Hey, let's just getting back to Dean Bailey. I mean, you know, 43,000 here today too, which is not bad. You've got to get creative and help this group. You can't keep saying, look, they're young and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. I didn't think he did that last week. I thought he thought they could win. But you've still got to help them with tricks like that. And I call them, you know, you've got to get creative as a coach. You can't just keep saying they're young. You've got to help them through it. Give them some ideas. Give them some creativity. That's what he's got to do.
Try and expose the vulnerability of your opponent. I mean, that's what every coach has to do, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And with just the one ruckman today, Collingwood was potentially vulnerable. Green kicks to Maloney. To Jones. And he has a target here. Miller. Brock McLean from the 50. Just did neither one thing nor the other. His forwards were in front. He went for home and was never going to carry the distance with a kick like that. Here's Fraser again. Been outstanding. Collingwood in these retro jumpers. He looks a little like one of the Coventrys or Colliers in the old days with that round neck.
I didn't know you were that old, Tim.
No, I remember them well. Leader Collier was, gee, I respected him as a player. Back when I was calling the games for the ABC back then. Here's O'Brien.
Geez, you hold up well.
Oh, yes, well, cosmetic surgery does wonderful things these days. Here's Nathan Brown in the Anthony direction. Davis waiting down. Just couldn't get rid of the tackler, but he's got some help. Young Beams, he looks a likely type. He just got it hooking too early. And it's another behind.
Oh, gee, it was an ordinary kick coming in. Put the Morton was under pressure. Frawley gets a chance to redeem himself. Out to Cheney, who gets the handball over the top. Warnock still in trouble.
Keep going.
Runs through O'Brien, and Melbourne out of trouble eventually. Morton. Oh, shocking handball. Straight to Didak, who was hurled. No free kick. O'Brien instructed Nathan Brown, shepherd for me, mate, and he does. Then feeds the handball back to Cox, who normally uses it very well. No problem there. Mark
Getting better, isn't he?
Beams.
Getting better, Cox.
Yeah. Beams chips it over the top, back to Cox, and he marks
Right on cue.
35 from goal.
Turn around.
He's played a lot of his football at up forward, so he's not in foreign territory. Off the rookie list in 2006 from South Fremantle, and is really turning into a regular player at Collingwood. As Dane Beams gets a round of applause coming off the ground, and Dane Swan coming back on. But here's Shannon Cox to increase the Collingwood lead. Joe pumped him up. Look at that, out on the full.
You know, Melbourne have only kicked 2 goals in their second half.
Well, since quarter time, they've kicked 4 goals. Collingwood have kicked 13. Inside 50s, 45 to Collingwood, 22 to Melbourne.
That's probably more than double.
Yeah, probably right, Malcolm.
Only the 9-goal rule could save the Demons now.
Tim, you're making fun of that. I just feel you're making fun of that.
Here goes Bartram. Frawley. Clark coming across his bow. Oh, they're just taking it off Melbourne with ease at the moment. Here's Clark.
played.
And he spotted the target. He didn't go for broke. And Alan Didak deserves a shot or two at goal. Deserves to reap the rewards of others' labour, because he's done a pretty fair amount of the heavy-duty stuff himself through the afternoon. He's kicked 2 goals, and you'd have your money on him here. He's a lovely kick. He's learned some hard lessons along the road of his football life. Perhaps he's ready to produce his best yet in 2009. From 45, he slots another one, his 3rd for the day. And the Magpies are winning by 58 points.
Well, I thought maybe 7 or 8. I think it's getting ugly. And that means, you know, some of the Melbourne players have actually stopped, don't believe anymore, and that's always hurtful for a footy team. You've got to stop that first before you can start winning.
Well, that's what's to come. What a game that's going to be at the MCG next Thursday night. Collingwood versus Geelong, then Brisbane, Essendon, and a game against North Melbourne. So, interesting run for the Magpies. Particularly that game against Geelong should be a beauty. Bartram, Bate. He's got it on centre wing, Matthew Bate. 5.5 minutes left of actual game time. Off to Bennell, who kicks it into the pocket. McLean and Davis. McLean found it at ground level. Wobbles one goal. Bouncing, and scrapes in. So well done, Brock McLean. A goal to Melbourne. Quick reply. First goal of the quarter for the Demons. And it took 20 minutes. And he's been one of their better players, you'd have to say. In fact, I'll look at his stats, Melvin, isn't he? He's only had it 14 times, so I'm perhaps being a little generous to him, do you think? How have you assessed his game?
I've seen him play better, to be honest, yeah.
Demons over the next 4 weeks. It doesn't get any easier next week as they go to Adelaide and play Port. Then it's Richmond, Adelaide here at the MCG, and Geelong. They're all tough games for Melbourne just at the moment. A battling team. Brock McLean having kicked a goal to bring a bit more respectability to the scoreline. He's coming back after missing the second half of last year. Here's Morton. He is the future. McLean again. Out wide for Bartram and Jetta. But just couldn't escape the tackle. And he's gone for holding it. One thing to bear in mind is that Melbourne played last Sunday. Very hot day. 6-day turnaround. Collingwood had 7. And perhaps the Demons have run out of steam today. It certainly reads that way. Yeah,
look, Tim, I think if you search for that, I mean, it's a fact, that's true. But if you search for that as a club, you'll always make excuses. So I don't think you actually, you just almost ignore that. The fact that it is true doesn't matter. Because there's only 7 days in each week.
There'll be a throw in up towards Collingwood's half-forward line.
I learnt that at school.
It is a factor, though, is it not? More and more in the modern game.
I think with the way they recover now, I mean, you know, no one belts himself on the night after a game. They've all got their ice baths and they've all got their programs. I think they come up pretty quickly. I mean, they're fit young men.
Here's Bartram. But another bad turnover. Swan, O'Brien. Back to Swan. And Johnson. Too far out. Studying the scene inside the 50. Anthony running under it. Beams well smothered by Warnock. Dick Clark, natural left footer. High ball. Very high ball. Almost carried home.
So Rivers this time. Marty Clark on screen. Margin 53 points. Rivers kicks okay. Mark taken by Bedell. Kicks it short to Frawley. Still inside defensive 50.
I just don't harp this a little bit, but I'd really like to see Dean Bailey now keep those back six within reason. You know, get the 7th one back, perhaps when Garland comes back in. But you just got to start somewhere. And right now, I think his best chance, looks to me, is keeping that young group together at the back.
Green beaten by Lee Brown, who kept his feet and then put the handball off to O'Brien. And O'Brien's got a couple of options. Clark and Didak on centre wing. Short kick, okay. Lockyer loose, just forward to the wing. Can he find a target at the back? Oh, hands in the back, surely. Surely hands in the back. Oh. Now, umpire McLaren was right in line with that, because he was between us and the contest, and it was clear from here that he had both hands in the middle of his opponent's back. It seems to be paid sometimes, Malcolm, and not paid other times.
I thought they went silly at a stage last year where they seemed to pay everything. The fly ran into your back.
Let's have a look at this.
He's probably just held him out.
Well, the right hand was in the middle of the back.
Yeah.
I made a mistake. His left forearm was there, but his right hand was in the back. He kicks for goal across the face. Anthony wrestling with Warnock, and it's out on the full. So a free kick to Melbourne in the back pocket.
The fact that we're talking about it means something must be not quite right with it at times.
Well, the rule was intended to take the debate out of it, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
The fact that we're talking about it says it hasn't succeeded.
We don't talk about handballing through for points anymore, whether that should be a free kick or not.
We might one day.
Yeah, we might.
There could be some debatable ones.
Okay. Did the Colliers have those problems in all those blokes?
It's always, back in those days, Malcolm, it was there. Right hand with the palm, left with the forearm. What's the difference? I mean, really, if it's a push, it's a push.
Correct.
If it's not, it's not. But I guess he did push him to gain a minor advantage, and yet we're still quibbling. It is a game of interpretation. Always has been, and I guess it always will. Here's Beams, who wasn't around in the Collier era. He's playing his first game. He's a teenager. Gives to old Presty in his 197th, and it looks as though he'll get to 200 before too long. Now Dane Swan and Medhurst. No, touched the grass in the umpire's estimation. Maloney needs to keep it in, or at least pretend that he's trying to. It'll be a throw in.
Oh, boys.
That's gee.
It's a free kick to Melbourne. Just...
Melee, what's your interpretation of a melee, Malcolm?
I think it's got to be more than 17 players. Is that 17?
Not quite.
No, it's not a melee then.
Maloney's got it at half back, and kicks okay. Bruce off to Bennell. Little handball to himself there. You can mark that down. And a bounce along the boundary line. Too much on it for Sylvia. In fact, Bate now getting back. Bate does well, though. The tackle from Cox was a beauty. Tuvey kept his head. No handball off to Clark. Cox, well done. Beautifully done by Jetta. Prestige Como, went to ground. Now he's in a spot of trouble. Clark went to ground as well. Dragged it back in and shoveled it to O'Brien, who overran the football. Tuvey wants the line, and they finally get it. And the umpire says it's okay. Throw it in. 40 metres around from the Melbourne goal. Collingwood by 53 points. They trailed by 13 at quarter time, led by 7 at half time. The advantage was 33 at the final change. Ball to the back. Swan slips it to Clark. Now Davis. Didak running very hard for Leon Davis. McDonald decided to go with Didak, not with the kicker Davis. Didak now in a spot of bother, but gets it back to Swan. But that's it. It's all over. Collingwood have defeated Melbourne at the MCG. The margin, 53 points.
free kicks in the end were 16 to 23, Melbourne's way. But I don't think Collingwood fans will be quibbling today. The Magpies kicked 9-12 to 3-2 after half-time. Here's Mark Howard.
Dane, your first game for the Pies. It was a late call-up. How did you find out you were going to get a run?
I actually went down to Geelong this morning to play in the VFL, so got a call and Paul Akira came and told me to take my boots off, come down here, so I was pretty happy. A bit unfortunate that the parents couldn't make it down, but it's fantastic to get out here and have a good win with the boys.
And how was it, mate? You really seemed to move into your work as the game went on.
Yeah, I guess fitness is a big part that we've we've had this year. We've had a massive pre-season, and I guess the boys had a bit more legs in the end and seemed to run out the game a little bit better than Melbourne did, so I think that would come down to that a little bit.
Mate, I've got to ask you, you're only 19, but how old were you when you first got that stuff done?
I was 17. Yeah, so I've had it for about a year and a half now, so it's just an interest I've got, so good.
You think you'll get another one just to celebrate your first game, mate?
I don't know, I guess got me player sponsors a tattoo, so it's a bit of a trap. But I haven't got anything planned yet, just concentrating on footy, so.
Congratulations, mate, well done today.
Thanks.
Terrific start for Dane Beams. A lot of ink on the arms, bit of bum fluff on the face, and already he's made his mark with the Collingwood Football Club. The Magpies winners by a big margin, 117 to 64, 53 points. Their first win of the season, and after a slow start, they've done it impressively. Dean Bailey, though, Malcolm, with some heartburn tonight because after a promising first-up effort, that wasn't so good.
No, with that sign behind him, Reflections, that's what he'll be doing tonight. There's some things they can learn out of that. But as I said, look, they're where they are. He's got to help them, the whole group has, and hopefully, keep that back line together and find some other forwards.
Howie?
Well, Nick, congratulations. You guys were in a bit of pressure coming into this game after the loss last week, and they got away to a bit of a flyer.
Yeah, they did, and I'm sure they're going to do that all year. They've got a lot of pride, and they're a very competitive bunch of blokes, so I'm sure they're going to keep improving every week, and yeah, we've just got to stick with it because you know they're going to keep coming at you.
We just had a chat with Dane Beams. He seemed pretty happy with his first game. Really came into the game nicely, and good for you blokes to get those young blokes involved.
He did, mate. He's very clean and very talented, so it's great to have him in there. He's stiff. He wasn't in there before today, but unfortunately with Daisy pulling out, he got his go, and he was really good.
Go and enjoy the win, mate. Cheers.
Thanks, mate.
That's the Collingwood skipper, Nick Maxwell, and for the first time in the season proper, he leads them to victory. They've got a NAB Cup Grand Final replay coming up next week against Geelong. That'll be fascinating. Collingwood have beaten Melbourne at the MCG by 53 points.